Microsoft Word and Resume Building Tutorial, brought to you by Simi Valley Public Library, narrated by Ursula Cervantes, librarian intern. In this presentation, you will learn the basics you need to navigate through Microsoft Word, how to create and save a document, what you need to know to build and create a resume, types of resumes, and resume must-haves. Microsoft Word, the basics. First things first, how to open the program. So there's two different ways to open the program. It basically depends on what type of desktop you're using, if you're on a Windows or a Mac. So if you're trying to open Microsoft Word on a Windows desktop, there's two ways to open it there. The first way is to go to Start, which is located on the lower left-hand side of your desktop. Go to All Programs, Microsoft Office, and then click on Microsoft Word. Or you could check your desktop to see if you have a shortcut image that looks like this. To open Microsoft Word on a Mac, locate the W on the Apple dock and click on it. Here is a screenshot of the program when it's open. You have your quick access toolbar on the top left right here. Usually here you can find the Save button, the Undo and Redo, and the New Document icon, which is this image right here that looks like a piece of paper. The blinking cursor will be found on the top left of your document, and it keeps track of your current location in a document. The scroll bar is on your right, and your status bar is on the bottom here. This blue area here and around the document itself is your document area. Whenever you launch Word, it will open a new document automatically. Here is a screenshot of the ribbon of the program. And the ribbon goes across the entire window of your Microsoft Word program. This is more of a close-up shot just to give you a closer image of the various features and functions within the ribbon. So the ribbon is basically the command central for all the functions. And within the ribbon there are tabs. There's the File, Home, Insert, Page Layout, References, Mailing, Review, and View. Depending on the settings of your Microsoft Word program, it may not be in the same order. And within the tabs organize common actions into groups, which is highlighted here. This is a group. And in this example, this group has to do with fonts. How to make it bold, how to change the font itself, the size, color, highlighting, and anything else you would like to do with the font itself. The Insert tab will have the functions where you can insert pictures, shapes, headers, and footers. The Page Layout is where you set your margins and page orientations. And the Review tab itself has to do with proofreading your work. So earlier I mentioned that whenever you launch Word, it will open a new document automatically. And if you were to try to open a new document manually, all you need to do is go to File, New, and then select a blank document if it asks you specifically, but usually when you click New, it automatically opens a new document. And by default, your document name will always say Document 1, and if it's your second document, it'll say 2, 3, 4, etc. And the name is displayed here, and this is the title bar. And you can continue editing the document as Document 1 or save the Word document to something else. To save your document and renaming it, all you have to do is go to File, Save As, and change the file name here. Once you change the file name, make sure you pick a location where you can remember where your file will be saved. Usually the best place to save your file is under Documents, and depending on the computer you're on, it could be labeled as My Documents as well. After you click your destination for your file, click Save. The process to open a saved document is fairly similar to saving the file itself. So again, you're going to go to File, Open, and then go to the location of where you saved your file. In the previous example, I saved my file under Documents. So I'm going to click on Documents and I will find my file there. Once you find your file, you click on it and then click Open. This next slide is a practice exercise slide. So you either could do this now or do this after you're done watching this presentation, but I highly recommend to practice because one of the best ways to learn and get familiar with the program is to practice. So this quick exercise pretty much consists of writing a paragraph. So what I want you to do is write a paragraph about yourself. I want you to write your name, your favorite food, and the next place you would like to go on a vacation. Then save the file as About Me or My Info or What I Want to Do or anything that will help you identify it when you go search it. Because after you save it, I want you to exit out of the program and then open the program again and try to find your file and open it. Play around with the colors, the font, the formatting, go through all the functions and features and familiarize yourself with Word because that is the best way of getting comfortable and becoming a pro at Microsoft Word. Now I'm going to move on to resume writing. It's important to know how to write a resume because your resume is the key to marketing yourself. And you need to know how to write it properly and structure it well because you're competing with others and your resume is that first impression an employer has on you. So if it's not well written or structured well, you're just giving them a confusing representation of yourself. That is why you want to make sure you have a strong resume because you want them to want to meet you and possibly even take that professional relationship to the next level. Your resume is literally the key that will help you open the door to business opportunities. The resume itself doesn't get you the job, but the resume helps you get called in for an interview that will potentially lead to getting hired. Quite often when someone hears about having to turn in a resume, they become riddled with anxiety and stress. There is no reason to feel this way when you hear the word resume. Writing your own resume isn't really as hard as it seems. There is a wealth of resources out there where you can get advice, examples, and resume templates. For example, Microsoft Word actually comes with templates, including resume templates, which are pre-designed to help you and guide you from beginning to end and let you know where you're supposed to put your contact info and your education and your experience. And if you're the type of person that would rather create one from scratch, it is easy to create one from scratch as well. All you need to do is make sure you have the basic info that is required on a resume on it. There are 3 types of resume formats out there. There is the reverse chronological order, the functional, and the hybrid. The reverse chronological order combines all your experience and employment history written in order by date, and it starts with the most recent position and then works backwards. The functional resume focuses more on what you can do and not where or when you did it. It's more selective and it only highlights those skills pertinent to your job. And the hybrid is a combination of both. The easiest format to use is the reverse chronological format because it doesn't leave the hiring manager wondering when and where the experience came from. It also shows progression of work history and it details what your responsibilities were at each position held. The basic structure of a resume consists of a header, an objective, education, previous work experience, certifications and licenses if you have any, achievements, and your skills. It's usually about 1 to 2 pages in length. And if you can, try to keep it to one page because there's a limited amount of time that a hiring manager spends reading a resume. So I want to give you some suggestions regarding some of your must-have sections on your resume. Regarding your contact info, obviously, have your name, address, and your phone number and email. The thing about phone numbers, don't put down a number that you don't answer, like a house line you don't ever answer, or your work number. Put down your personal number that you normally answer at. And with your email, if you don't have one, you can create one at a domain like Gmail or Yahoo. It's free. And make sure your email sounds professional as well. Don't have an email listed on your resume that is something like XOXO cutie. Make sure you have something that has your first initial last name or your first and last name. Something to that nature. It just looks more presentable. Your objective is pretty much your section to tell the employer what you're applying for. So that section, all you really need to do is be descriptive but also brief. For your education section, you're going to list all education. And the first line for your education is going to be your most recent. So if you're currently in a program, that is the first thing you're going to put, followed by whatever you have completed. And if you are currently in a program, obviously you're not going to put date earned. You're going to put something like in progress or tentative graduation date. And I also recommend putting any related coursework that may show some skill or knowledge towards the job you're applying for. It will only make you look stronger and make you a stronger candidate for that position and for that interview. For your experience section, again, make sure you start with the most recent position. And if you are currently employed there, you will put the date that you started to present. And just work your way backwards in that fashion. Here is a sample resume of somebody with limited experience. And I wanted to show you this because even with limited experience, you can make a great looking resume. Lastly, I wanted to let you know that you can get more help online through Simi Valley Public Library. Visit our career transitions site for more tips on writing a resume. You can access career transitions under our e-resources page. It's a great resource for resume examples. It helps you build a resume and also a cover letter too. You can watch videos, search for jobs, and research careers, and you can access it for free with your Simi Valley Public Library card. I want to thank you for joining me for this session, and I hope you found it informative and helpful. If there's any additional questions or assistance that you need, feel free to ask one of the library staff members.